So, welcome everybody. It's so nice to see you again. And tonight we are going to talk a little bit and to meditate on the incredible power of softness. It's such a powerful quality, softness, and so often misunderstood. Because, when we think about softness, we so often confuse it with weakness. When there is softness, there is weakness, and we have to be strong. We have to be strong to survive. And that's exactly where strength belongs in the whole area of survival. And softness being a non-dual quality, so much is connected with living, being. So when I was young, I was a judoka. I was trained in judo, which was an amazing sport for a period for me. And my champion was Anton Geesink, which was a giant Dutch judoka who was world champion in judo. And one day I had the honor of meeting him, and I met him and I shook his hand. And this big, big hand, it was a big man, was so soft. It was not only that his hand was soft, but he was emanating softness. And I was absolutely amazed by it. How could somebody who is so strong, who is world champion in a fighting sport, be so soft? So, softness, of course, when we look to it, is a non dual quality, but it's so much also connected with an attitude of softness. That means that basically your consciousness is emanating softness. And this does miracles. It's often when we are kind of bothered by something and a block or something we want to kind of open up when we're working on ourselves. We kind of try to open it up, to break it open with strength, or to get rid of it, to push it away with strength. And that doesn't make really a difference. The more we push, the more resistance we meet. It's like pushing against a wall. The harder we push, the more resistance we meet in the wall. It's the same when you're talking to people. If there is a resistance and you try to break through the resistance of a client, for instance, or you ask your client to break through a resistance, you meet a wall. It's not possible. But it is possible to penetrate that what is not penetrable, to move into the core of things with softness. Softness is moving to the depth. An attitude of softness towards ourselves, towards these parts which are difficult for us, or those parts we have a resistance to really kind of move into, and not often that we have a resistance, but a resistance is built around it, especially when we talk about trauma. So something is a trauma or is locked up, placed out of time and space, became a block. We don't want to feel it. We don't want to experience it because it's unbearable or it's too dangerous. It doesn't fit, whatever reason. So if we can move towards those parts inside us with softness, it is possible to open up the whole area. It's possible to kind of really move to the depth to integrate whatever needs to be integrated. Softness is a key in the whole area of inner growth. Softness is a key, not only in the whole area of inner growth inside yourselves, but also in the work with people. When we move with softness, automatically we give space. And again, it's not a sign of weakness. And we are so confused in it. Somebody who is really soft. Is this person weak? Are we weak? Is there a lack of strength? Are we vulnerable when we are soft? Can the world do with us whatever the world wants to do? Or is it a strength beyond belief? So what would happen when somebody is reaching out to you with a lot of aggression and you answer with softness? Instead of what we normally do is kind of, push away, ignore, react with aggression, react with rage, with anger. Or maybe be fearful and close off. And put a wall ourselves, which is also a kind of strength. So what would happen if we would reach out with softness? So softness is penetrating, and softness helps us to move beyond the aggression, to see beyond the aggression, to give space to the aggression without, in a way, identifying with it. It helps to kind of to listen. It helps to come to an understanding what is behind the anger of the other. And so often what is behind the anger of the other is that the other doesn't feel seen, doesn't feel understood, a pain. And softness, this energy helps so much to unveil the pain because there is no aggression from us against the pain. The pain gets space. And so often what you see is that the aggression evaporates and a deeper layer of the person is coming forward. We can come to a deeper understanding. So softness is so important in a way how to deal with ourselves, with our own difficulties, with the parts which are difficult to penetrate, difficult to see inside ourselves, and the same with the world around us, and especially when we're working with therapy. An attitude of softness helps the other person to accept whatever is going on. But it's not even important if it's accepted. But softness has such a strong connection also with the non-dual quality of reality. So when we kind of enter with a feeling of softness, what unveils is what it is. It is what it is. And it is what it is creating space and time. It is what it is unveiling the depth of what is there. It's unveiling what is hidden behind whatever is inside the resistance, inside the block. It's helping us to reconnect with the qualities which are behind the conflict we are in or the other person is in. Behind every conflict, there is a treasure. Behind every block, there is a treasure. So, as an example, if there is a block on softness because we lost trust in the quality of softness, because we are confused. When we are soft, we are weak. When we are soft, especially as a male, you're not a real male. A real male is strong, cannot be weak. And of course, as a female, you have to be soft. And again, then this softness immediately is connected with weakness. To be soft, as how it is often understood, is a way of kind of yielding. And that moves us in the whole area of superiority and inferiority. Just let him talk. I will say, yes, you're right, Jacob. You're right. It's okay. Non-confrontational. But this is not real softness. Softness can be extreme confrontational because it unveils. It opens up. It shows everything which is hidden, what is not there to be seen. It brings forward what is. So behind this confusion of around softness, that softness is weakness. Don't show softness. You cannot trust softness. We come into this conflict between weakness and strength. So can you show strength? Or can you show weakness? This is what it becomes about. You either have to be strong not to be weak, or you can be weak, and in this is your strength. But this is not really about softness. Softness is something totally different, which is hidden behind this conflict. And when we would enter this conflict with softness, It evaporates, it disappears. And this is with any conflict. It starts to evaporate, it starts to disappear. And the quality which is hidden in it will come forward. So there's an incredible strength in softness. There's an incredible beauty in softness. It's non-judgmental. An attitude of softness is non-judgmental. And partly because it's connected with our essence, with our true nature. So it brings forward with the softness also the other qualities of true nature. And bring forth the other qualities of true nature, the softness of love, the softness of care, the softness of reality, what I brought forward before that, the softness of connecting or connection. So when there is a softness in connection, in how we are connected with people, we are in an area in which there is no judgment, in which there is an openness. And what is the strength in that? There is no defense. That means that things can be as they are. It is what it is. So is that a strength or is that a weakness when there is no defense? Is it too vulnerable to have no defense? So let's look a little bit into this because that's interesting. So when something is happening to us, which is really shocking or difficult, is there a defense? Or did it happen already? So if we build a defense afterwards, it's like too late because it happened already. It happened already. And if we try to defend us before it happened, we have an agenda. And we kind of are pushing forward maybe a defense, a strength. But at the same time, when we do this, we lose connection. We're creating what we are fearful of so often. So both is not in the here and now, is not connected what is happening now. It's what we expect what could happen, maybe. Or it happened already, and then we build a defense. We have to be strong. We cannot be weak. And what would happen if there is this attitude of softness? So the first thing is When something happens which is really aggressive or shocking, and there's an attitude of softness, we are much more aware of what is the impact on us. We have time to contain it. We have time to look at it. There is an attitude of softness to whatever or whoever is reaching out in this way, which helps us to really understand where it is coming from. When there's an attitude of softness, we don't need to shut down, close down, to retaliate. It doesn't mean that we cannot put borders. That's something completely different. But communication is possible. It's not you or me. It's not kill or be killed, which is so much connected with strength. But it's much, much more like, oh my God, we are in deep shit. Because both sides are in deep shit. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen. It's not excluding the other or yourself into strength or weakness. So, an attitude of softness is an attitude which also brings forward the non-dual quality of harmony. It harmonizes. The quality of understanding. It helps us to look much more deeply into whatever is happening inside ourselves and into the world around ourselves. It helps us to move less into a contraction in which we kind of, move into a tunnel in which we are only able to react into the belief, according to the beliefs which are forming the tunnel, into a contraction. It helps us to kind of, to see the contraction and to move beyond the contraction. It gives freedom. And that means if there is this attitude of softness towards ourselves and others, we are able to express and to lean back our non-dual qualities. We don't lose connection with it. We stay connected. We stay connected with ourselves, and we stay connected with the world around ourselves. So softness is a beautiful way, a beautiful quality, which is working together with the quality of connection, which is opening the quality of connection. In softness, we can trust. There is an incredible strength in softness. Okay, I leave it like this for tonight. And we have a little break, and after the break, there is a beautiful, soft guided meditation.
I am there. Okay. Good evening, everyone. The non-dual softness in us greets the non-dual softness in you. Softly, softly. So let's find a comfortable position in which we can softly relax. And with softness, the mind or the thought can function like a signpost, a reminder. The mind is here to remind. What about the softness? So as we're finding a comfortable position, first of all, we're looking towards the physical body. How would this body need to be supported in order to open and release the vibration of softness? Where would this body, this physical body, look for softness? So perhaps we could allow the sensation of heaviness, of weight, or of gravity, and allow a certain softness in how we open up to that sense of gravity. Softly allowing that space where our physical body and the physical earth are merged, letting them fuse together. Softly allowing the sensation of weight, the softness within the heaviness. Any sensation of stress or tightness, just letting that be there with a kind of softness, not resisting it at all. Receiving any stress or contraction into this sense of softness. If we find we're putting in too much effort, we're trying too hard to be soft, just let this effort also be soft. softly, softly. And as the body begins to relax into the earth, maybe what's left is a sense of the separation between your inside and your outside. And if you find any barrier or separation between your inner world and your outer world, perhaps you could also let this be there in softness. Softly noticing where it's there and where it's not there anymore. Maybe you can notice the softness of how the air moves through the nose and mouth into the body. The softness with which it's received. And the softness with which the air is released again into the room. The softness of this air, this oxygen. And softness in the rhythm of your breathing as your chest rises and falls. When you have a vibration of softness in your awareness, a sense of softness, just let yourself softly release that too, becoming softer still. Allowing a softness beyond what you could ever imagine. And release that too. You become aware of yourself here in the vibration of softness. Maybe you could let yourself evaporate a little bit, diffusing into the softness. Just as the center of you emerges, allow it to disappear into softness, evaporating. Whatever comes forward as a thought, or a feeling, or a physical sensation, let that also be received in this softness, evaporating. Disappearing into softness. And maybe you can allow the softness of this rhythm as you appear and disappear. As you arrive and evaporate. Such a soft, gentle rhythm with a life of its own. Letting it be just as it is and is and is. As we allow this soft pulse of softness to continue, whether or not we pay attention to it now, I'd like you to invite a memory from the past where you felt you were very strong, where you needed to be very, very strong. Just let yourself blend with that sense of strength, that inner strength. the essence of you within that inner strength. Notice your location. Maybe what you're wearing. Notice how this strength moves through your physical body, how it was for your body to transmit this strength. What's happening around you now? How is the strength moving within you? How is it expressing? What are you aware of in the environment? What can you see? How is the sense of strength moving with your seeing, with your sight? What taste is in your mouth right now? What does strength taste like? What's happening in the depth of your physical body now? Notice any physical sensations. How is strength relating and moving through these physical sensations? Is there something unique in your individual sense of strength? Your personal, intimate strength? I'd like you to surround that sense of strength with softness. Just to let there be softness in your consciousness and in your awareness. As you infiltrate softly, softly, this sense of strength. Allowing your awareness to be super soft in such a way that you can sense this strength as it is. Experiencing how it moves. How it needs to be. Receiving this sense of strength wherever it wants to go. Without needing to change a thing. And connect again to the physical body in the here and now. The well-being of the physical body right now, just letting everything release. Softly allowing the body to be supported as part of the earth. As the air moves softly through the nostrils and mouth into the body. And softly release it. Enjoying that rhythm of softness in this moment. Feeling the softness of the air also on the skin surface. Even maybe the softness of the light outside and inside and outside and inside. And when you're ready, I'd like you to return to that same memory again, letting yourself come back again to that memory, whether or not it appears in the same way. Notice your location in the memory. Connect with what's happening. Notice the need to be strong. And maybe if you wait a little while, it's possible to notice somewhere the sense of weakness in this memory, where you felt weak. Just gently and carefully allowing that place where you felt weak any weakness which is there in or around you. Let this weakness come to life now. With emotions all of its own. Let it live. Maybe you can notice how the physical body responds to this weakness. Noticing where this sense of weakness is, how it feels. Letting it live. What does weakness taste like in your mouth? How is weakness moving in and around you? I'd like your conscious awareness to become very soft in how it surrounds this weakness, softly infiltrating this sense of weakness. Without resisting a thing. I'd like you to connect again with the sense of softness. And now to let your consciousness softly penetrate the softness. Allowing the softness to move through the whole memory now. Sharing this sense of softness, softly awakening, arriving within the whole memory now, sharing the softness wherever it's needed and with whoever it's needed and with whatever needs it. Even sharing the softness with the need itself. We're softly letting this whole experience now begin to dissolve into the physical body. Letting the weight be the weight, the heaviness be the heaviness, the fluids be the fluids. And the vapors be the vapors. As we relax behind the softness of our breathing, in and out. When you're ready, I'd like you to open up the core of yourself to the possibility of receiving softness, receiving the transmission of softness from the earth, from the rivers and oceans, from the horizon, from the sky. as we come back to the here and now, it's time for us to say goodbye to the people watching us on the live stream. Thank you for joining us. And we will be here next week, next Wednesday, same time. Different quality, but probably very softly. So thank you for joining us, and come anytime and join us in the Zoom room as well for what happens next.